What up, everybody? I'm Matt Bullion here with Fast and Tirius, where we explore some of the premier HubSpot solutions partners, how they've tiered, and how they are scaling inside the HubSpot ecosystem. Today, I'm joined with, you could call them a newbie, but they're quickly rising. Unlimited Tech Solutions. We have founders of both Tom and Cornet. They have been in the ecosystem 2.3, we call it 2 years and 3 months. They have gone untiered to almost essentially elite, except for customer retention dollars, to tell you more about that. But welcome to the show today, Tom. Excited to explore your journey and be able to share that with more people.
No, thank you. And thank you for having me, Matt.
So 2 years ago, you were not doing HubSpot things, and you are now essentially elite. That's wicked fast. How did your story start? How did you learn about HubSpot? What made you 2 years ago say, okay, I'm going to go all in?
So I'm going to give you the fastest high-level overview as I can. So this is, Cornet and I have kind of parallel journeys, and then they converged as one would. But I spent over a decade as a customer. I had, fat marketing budget. The company when I started, this is back, it's going to make me sound so old. This is back in like 2010. Joined this big company, $2 million marketing budget, 0 CRM. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? Got them into Salesforce. So I was a blue Kool-Aid drinking Salesforce guy, went to Dreamforce every year, built out tons of stuff. There was 35 different locations, 120 different salespeople. I'm on an airplane, training people like from the phone, training people in person on Salesforce. Salesforce did a bunch of lying to me. Like they didn't tell me like Pardot was a separate database. They didn't tell me that I should spend budget $6 in partner costs for every $1 of licensing costs. So a lot of these were surprises to me, but hey, I rolled with the punches for like 7 years, worked with different partners. This is all on the Salesforce side, worked with different partners that ripped me off, that overcharged me, just had a terrible, terrible experience. So needed to get good at it myself and with some freelancers. HubSpot came knocking around like 2015, 2016, which if you look at their trajectory, that's kind of when they were, became kind of a big deal. So switched everybody, over 200 employees, 120 salespeople, switched everybody in the company from Salesforce to HubSpot. Wow. Very boots on the ground, very sleeves rolled up, very gritty, learned you don't get points for being clever. You get points for adoption. You get points for making something that's easy to use. You get points for like what you can actually implement, right? It's not what you know, it's what you can implement, to kind of parlay off of the training day movie quote, right? It's not what you know, it's what you can prove is the training day quote, but it's not what you know, it's what you can implement is really a big thing I learned there. So did that for about 5 years. That owner cashed out. So I was left with an opportunity to do something different is the way that I like to describe that, meaning I needed a job. And went and took a couple other jobs, but was really fell in love with the boots on the ground aspect of what they now would call RevOps, right, with HubSpot. So the two companies I was with before, I flirted with starting a HubSpot division with each of those companies. They never really took hold, but ended up going through like the partner onboarding, did some of that stuff with this legal company that I was with. So I learned about the partner program and was like, you know what, I want to do this for a living. Like this is my jam, right? Like it just resonated with me. And technically I filed my paperwork to start this company 3 years and 3 months ago, but was going through some personal stuff and my friends are like, dude, nah, not right now, bro. Like you gotta like just go get a job somewhere, like put this on hold. But technically the company was started 3 years and 3 months ago. So took a year, went worked somewhere else. And once that was kind of ran its course, I'm like, all right, man, let's do this. And ended up calling Cornet and said, yo, I'm getting ready to start this thing. And he goes, yes. And I go, all right, let me tell you about it though. And he's like, yes. And I was like, okay, cool, thank you. But like, let me tell you about the idea I have. And he goes, Tom, get a piece of paper out, get a pen, write the word yes on it. And the next time you're going to ask me the same damn question, refer to said piece of paper. And I was like, whoa, dude, like, cool, but why? And he goes, you wouldn't have called me if you hadn't already thought it through. You wouldn't have called me if it wasn't a good fit. And in that moment, and this is kind of the origin story, if you will, in that moment, I'd gone through, a terrible corporate experience for a long time. He'd gone through terrible corporate experience for a long time. And our only mission, and this is still true to this day, was we just want to do good work with good people.
Mm.
That's it. We just want to enjoy what we do for work every day. And our go to market strategy was and is, let's just be so good at it that people will come to us and we don't need to really do a lot of sales or marketing. We can just do really good work. And that's kind of how it started. And honestly, we reference it a lot here.
Mm.
Now that we're 2 years and 3 months into it, but that's still, we're not trying to become a big factory of RevOps or anything. We've got a lot of lessons we've learned. Don't get me wrong, but honestly, if this ever stops being fun, we've done something wrong. And we extend that to our colleagues as well. So anyway, that's my fast version, which I realized wasn't that fast.
Well, let me recap. I think I heard some themes I've heard, and I've also heard others say these. Is number one is you believed in HubSpot before others. So 2016 is actually still pretty early in the CRM journey. Like I didn't even it took me until 2020. And that's still 4 years, and I thought I was early. Um, so just as a point, so you probably one of the earliest adopters, probably one of the larger customers at the very beginning, 270
Yeah,
salespeople.
and I believed in it because I just spent 7 years getting punched in the face by Salesforce, right? So something came along. I'm like, oh, this is better.
Yeah, especially when you said Pardot is a separate database, and if you've used Marketing Cloud now, you understand they are not integrated well. But then number two is you had experiences in the corporate, and you said I just want to do good work with good people, and I've experienced that a lot in the HubSpot. It's like, hey, I see and I've experienced Salesforce ecosystem, and I just want to build in an ecosystem that will allow me to work with good people and do good work. I think that's very common. So that's just cool to hear. What So 2 years later, you're about to be elite. What are like so just level setting here, where are you at today in terms of revenue employees, and what are your goals you're trying to achieve? So you're about to hit and you're scaling 2 years in. Talk to me about what you're in now, what current problems you're facing, and how you're going to attempt to overcome them.
Yeah, and anyone that's listening knows there's always problems. Like that. That's the gig. Um, Revenue wise, we're at about, if you just kind of take the last like 3 months and multiply that out by 12, we're at about 2.3, 2.4, and rapidly growing. I think our head count is 15, but it might be 16, which I should know that, but I don't. But 15 or 16, somewhere in that range. But we have 5 positions open right now that we're actively, and if I had the right candidate, I'd say yes to quickly, right? So we've definitely got some process open. The growth, I once heard, I'm going to use a phrase. I once heard Warren Buffett was talking about bankruptcy, and he says um, bankruptcy happens very, very slowly and then all at once. Well, I'm going to say success is the same. So success happens very slowly and then all at once. Because our growth, when it does happen, it really surges. And I bring that up because the problems we're solving for are the process, right? We had process, it was not to the depth that I needed it to be in order for us to be able to go from a headcount of 4 to 8 to 12 to 15, to
Mm-hmm.
possibly even 20. We had process. I thought it was good process. It wasn't to the depth that someone could follow it and ramp up their time to value as an employee as fast as I need it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been some hiccups, not in the quality of work, but in the timelines. We've been a little slow on some slower than I'd like on some projects, and we've had some communication issues on some projects. Now, again, we always make it right by our customers. We always make sure the work is good, but um, it's not at the level of quality that I would be proud of with some of the hiccups that we've had with staffing
Mm.
and stuff. So those are the things. Honestly, I'm spending 98% of my time right now, working with clients, making sure the projects are done, they're done well, that things are going well, and they are finishing well. But again, the 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 level of communication is not at the standard that I'm happy with, and because of that, we're running a little long on some projects that are just due to some inefficiencies of process as well. So that is
Mm.
honestly dominating the stuff that we're working on right now as far as problems.
Um, I think you're not alone, and especially as you said, growth begets complexity, and complexity, you have to often you're having to reinvent yourself. Like there's just total different communication channels that have to occur, and delegation of work, and growth in the organization. As you're thinking about these problems, these initial like challenge, these growth, essentially growth pains that you're going through, how it's just helpful for people to think through. Are you doing your revenue today? Is it reoccurring or
So
project? And what's the percentage of that? And what are your thoughts? Because there's just as I talk to owners, they all have different perspectives on what the ideal compensation should be.
so there's a story there. So let me tell you a little bit about that. Back in the day when I was talking with Salesforce people and my earliest days in HubSpot, I was like Pretty Woman trying to find a HubSpot partner, and I'm like, I got all this money and no dress. Was me trying to get like landing page. I just want a landing page. Charge me 5 grand, charge me 10 grand, charge me 15 grand. This is back in like 16, 17. Nobody would talk to me. They would only talk to me about retainers. I'm like, I don't need
Mm.
a retainer. I have a pile of money and I need a landing page. Can I exchange my money for a landing page? And I'm not even joking. No, no was the answer because everybody went through. I get it now because you go through the inbound training, or at least the old ones, like the GDD stuff,
Mhm.
and they teach you.
Growth driven
Do
design. Yep.
I just wanted a landing page, and I'm like, you don't even know me. Why would I get into a 12-month retainer with you? You don't even know me. We've never even worked together. So I came in a little jaded, I guess, on some of the retainer model. So I have not. I've been slow to embrace a retainer model. I've taken pride in pointing out to clients that we don't pitch retainers, and when we do, it's usually continuous improvement. I've softened on that, which I'll talk about in a moment. But um, right now, I would say 90% of our revenue is project based. 90%. So just massive amount of project work, and it's good, and
Yep.
we're getting some efficiencies there, but very little recurring. Um, we want to change that. So we have a brand we call our Hubmasters brand, which is a community, and we've got some open office hours and some other community stuff. People get a ton of value out of it. It's massively underdeveloped. Um, Not that upsetting you guys up with the Supered, but we are doing the white label with Supered, and we're going to brand it with our Hubmasters brand because I feel like that's going to give us the key that we need. People love us. They love working with us. They don't want us to go away at the end. And I've not had the right product, for lack of a more tangible word, to allow them to stay working with us. Like nothing's clicked. But by branding some of the super product on top of that, and it lets us bottle some of the content that comes out of these community sessions that we have. So essentially, we've got like open office hours throughout the week. They're very well attended. People constantly tell me that it's so underappreciated by some of our other clients because of the depth and complexity of the advanced materials that we get into. But by trying to bottle that and then put it in the white labeled super bottle, um, they'll love it. I'm not even saying it from like a point of oh, this is going to help me solve a revenue issue. It will, but they'll love it. They're like, Tom, take our money. We've enjoyed this 4 months of our project. We just don't want you to leave because we know we're going to have questions or we know we're going to have some things. And so that combined with, I'm working on maybe making that as part of like our service, like our extended service kind of brand, if you will. But the white labeled super product is really um, that's really going to help us unlock stuff, and it's really going to help us kind of take what we do and allow us to productize it, quite honestly.
Mhm.
Because I let's just say it this way, I'm not actively looking to sell my company or anything, but I'm also not I'm not, I'm not silly. I want to make sure I'm building it in a way that I have that option at some point should I ever change my mind. 90% project work is not in my favor. If and when that day were ever to come, I need to get that significantly flipped, just to drive that. So that's in the back of my mind. And again, it's something that in this coming year, we definitely want to get more recurring revenue and
Yeah.
uh,
We've
less project work.
I've been I have to have gone through that the shift, right? And it's uh we're thinking about doing a full partner acceleration course to talk about these points, but this is a really good one. It's what is the ideal percentage of reoccurring versus projects. And the reality is, you almost have to have projects. They often will, from a cash flow perspective, you need projects. They fund them. You need to be good at starting and ending on time, without even thinking about upsell. Like just do good work. Don't
Yep.
try to worry about cross. It'll happen if you just do good work. Don't worry about cross sell. But then you do need a reoccurring, because the value of the business and the predictability it creates for hiring and staffing and capacity planning, you really need. So it's it there's a whole lot to just, there's probably a full course on just getting that done right and productizing. Yeah, and you talked about why I'm so fanatical about creating intellectual property for companies is particularly because of that. How do you repeat process, even projects? How do you repeat processes to create increased margin?
And
So,
I'm leaving money on the table. I mean, I have customers. They come to me at the end and they're like, "Man, this went great. We loved it. Like, how can we keep working together?" And I haven't had the right. It happened too quickly. Quite honestly, we went from, "Hey, I got 4 employees, 5 employees. I'm paying my bills. We're all making modest incomes," to, "Oh my God, I have 16 people. Like, how did the hell did that happen?" And the volumes there, but I'm shorthanded as far, not from a product even standpoint. It's like, hey, we want to buy more stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, but I don't I haven't thought that far yet. And 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 to me, the motive was always really important. And some of the people that I'd meet at Inbound, and we'd have a drink and whatever. And again, I'm not trying to like judge them or anything, but like if the motive was just to have something for the sake of having it, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit of a snob in that regard. So I'm like, but is it good? Like, is it actually a good product that's worth bottling, or you're more worried about bottling and less worried about what's in the bottle? But I think I leaned too heavily on the what's in the bottle, and therefore didn't give enough thought into what happens when it's good. Do I have a bottling plan so that I can put what is good into bottles
well,
and sell more of them?
there's something to be said about first get the recipe right, then bottle. So there's something to be said about the journey and how you went about it to get recipe correct, then think about bottling, and your customers will tell you how to bottle. And there's something about CRM implementations are, once you do them, they require, because they're really a product. I mean, a CRM is a product in itself. It requires maintenance, but let people tell you what they want to maintain and how they want to continue working. You can bottle that. Well, um, just you've done 2 years. You've grown, had rapid growth. In many ways, it's a dream case. In many ways, like it's something when people grow up, they want to be like you. How? What would you say? What are things you would never do again in this journey? And what's something you would have done earlier in your journey?
So let me start by saying this, and I know this will be relatable for those people that are listening. It is so much harder than I thought it was going to be. Like, sure, things have gone well. Um, Man, is it hard? There's just always something. Um, what would I have done earlier? Honestly, probably getting more of the process in place. So my co-founder and CTO, he was early and often talking about systems for resource planning, systems for project management. Um, I wasn't listening as well as I am now. Um, had I listened earlier, like a year ago, which is when he really started pounding on the table, being like, we need to get our resource planning in place. Um, it probably would be a little bit of a smoother ride right now because there would have been less cargo carrying and trying to put it in place. So I definitely would have gotten more of a formalized process in place in terms of like how do we run a migration. These, in fact, that's not true because we did get that in early place. Honestly, the resource planning is something that I waited too long to take it seriously. I
Let me
waited
make
too long.
just a
Yeah.
clarification for listeners. When you say resource planning, I hear supply demand. So how do I have supply and then fit demand at the right time, at the right pace? So I'd have a budget for. Is that what you're talking about?
But more specifically, more granular. So I've got these 5 people with these 5 skill sets. What are they working on for the next 4 or 5 weeks specifically? So that when
Mhm.
I'm talking to someone on sales, do I have that? Like, do I have that specific? Can they code in Node.js or can they not? Do I have somebody that has capacity right now that can write in Node.js or not? Do I have somebody right now that can take that homegrown CRM and bring it into SQL and chop it up and relate it and spit it back out in a way that we can bring it in or not? So like very, very specifically, I was doing the generic way. Like I got 5 people, right? And we're going to utilize the 75%. I got 150 hours a week. Totally got it. Right. But not for that specific skill. You're booked out 4 weeks on that specific skill. I didn't go to that level soon enough.
Mm,
You
okay.
see?
It said I
So
have the total of hours, I have utilization rates, we planned it, but I wasn't utilizing hours by specific traits. Okay, that's just helpful. What would you do earlier?
that
Bucket
that I
more
would do
specific.
earlier. Yeah,
Okay.
because then it'd be like, oh my gosh. Number one, it would help me learn my business. What we were at, like you said, customers will tell you. Um, One of the things that everybody's gone through, we learned real quick what our customers liked about us, and then just overlapped it with what we like about us, and that's what we specialize in, right? But that would have let me see, holy crap, I'm booked out 6 weeks on this very specific type of skill set. Wow. So just it helps me parse out the demand very, very specifically, which means I can get in front of, do I need overflow capacity? Do I
Mhm.
need a contractor? Do I need another partner that I can have some of this spill over onto, um, and help get in front of that a little bit more. So that I definitely would have done earlier. What was the other question? What would I not do?
What would you never do again?
What would I never do again? Um, so I'm going to give you 2 answers on that. One is really specific to us, which was we dabbled with some marketing because people were asking for it. I would That cost me like 6 months.
Mm.
Uh, we got into a little bit of like ad management for a bit, and we got a little bit into some of the creative stuff. There's people that are great at that. That ain't us. Like we're really good at the more technical stuff. The other thing though might not be as easily relatable to some of the folks. I paid way too much attention to the tiers, quite honestly. Um, it was important to me, but in hindsight, why? Like what did I actually gain? Relationships are different, right? So like building relationships in the industry, oh my gosh, worth its weight in gold. Once you're platinum and above, maybe diamond, I could make an argument for diamond, but once you're something, and then it's all about what have you done, right? I kind of feel the same way about like formal education. Like, oh, did you go to this school or that school? Nobody cares. What have you done? What have you built? Like, right? And I feel like now I'm not saying I don't like the tiers and that it feels good, but I think we care more than customers care.
Yep. I think what's ironic about this show is everybody that comes at the end, especially at the elite, it's the same thing as you want to be famous until you get famous, and you're like, hey guys, this is not what you want. You do not want to be famous. In fact, you'll lose your soul and your heart if that's what you care about. Is getting to elite is a goal to have, but your customers don't care, and your employees don't really care. It's really a badge of honor that you get to wear. That goes into a partner directory. Uh, Now it's a proxy for us to be able to have these conversations.
That's true.
It's not the true core or the heart of the business.
Yeah, and thank you. That's very, very well said. Now you could have told me that, I wouldn't have listened.
I mean, yeah.
I'm just being, I was so
Yeah.
focused on it, I wouldn't have listened.
Yeah, well, not many power lifters would. They're like, I'm gonna lift all the weight. I'm gonna
That's
get
right.
all the way up. Yeah. So
Yeah, like I wouldn't have listened. But so what's funny is with the elite, so we're behind on customer retention dollars, but we weren't. There was an adjustment. So we thought we were elite earlier this month, and then 3 days later, they're like, actually, you're 0.2% below where you're at in customer retention dollars. And what that helped me and honestly my staff realizes, were we any different on Monday than we were on Thursday versus the week like last week we didn't think we were because we were short on that number by a full percentage point. And then the new month clicked over and we were over by a full percentage point. And then a few days went by and now we were under by 0.2%. And I'm like, listen, but did your day change at all? Do we have any more or less customers at all? And the answer is really no. Um, and I tell people, elite will be a reflection when we actually are. And like I said, we've got some problems we're working through. And so the way I take that is, we are almost elite, and
mm,
we're going to work through our problems. And when we actually are, it'll be a reflection of who we are, and not necessarily an accomplishment, but just a reflection of, are we really operating at the highest level? And we're close, but we've got some things to work on. And so
yeah, I
that's
love how
kind of,
you
I
said
say, yeah,
a natural reflection. You're in a process of becoming, and it's just a natural reflection of what you're becoming. And once you're elite, um, it doesn't end there. There's so many other
correct.
things to tackle. And as we talk about that, I'm going to say your spirit, your elite. What is the next big bet thing in 2024 that you're thinking about for the business as you're planning going from 16 to perhaps 25 people next year, 30 people? What's the big bet you're thinking about in FY24?
So in 2024, in big bets, we have never been, and it continues today. We're not trying to be necessarily the biggest. We do want to get really, really good at what we are doing, so that we are doing things very efficiently. Um, Honestly, I'm going to talk a lot about just internal stuff. Lower stress internally for the team. More streamlined processes, so that we're going to be, it'll result in profitability. I'm not doing it for profitability. One of our goals as a company is honestly to be just a great place for somebody to stop at on their career, because we've got really interesting work and really complex use cases and really, really high level talent. And so really refining out how the working experience is here from an employee that will extend to our customers. Will that impact our revenue? Yes, probably, right? We'll probably end up, somewhere in that 3 to 5 range, in 2024. We also want to build out our Hubmasters brand, right, using the Supered Wipe label. And then we have front burnered and back burnered a middleware project several times in the last 12 months, that I'm hoping that at least by the end of 2024, we can get that, another sub brand that I'll keep private for now, but essentially a middleware product that will help productize and package some of the tooling that we do use on a very regular basis, so that we can enter the app marketplace with some of that middleware tooling as well. But honestly, what if you were saying, hey, what's the trajectory? I don't ever really want to be bigger than 50 employees. We want to be more bespoke than that. We want to be specialists, with really efficient systems, and just honestly just be a really great place to work, and a really good team to buy from. And we're very happy with that. Some people give me some criticism by that, and leave it on the table, but we're very much about quality of life and just having a good place to work. And again, it goes back to the day one thing of just, we want to do good work with good people. So really leaning into that, and we're going through some growing pains. So we're not entirely living up to that right now, with some of the growing pains.
I love that. Good work, good people. I hear FY24, a year of focus, and that will result in methodical growth. Like, that's what I'm hearing. So
Yeah.
Tom, appreciate you for stopping by on your journey. Like, you're stopping, you're taking your head up, you're in the journey. Love to have you back when you are, let's say a year from now, and we'll see what's happened. If people want to contact you or talk to you post this podcast, how would they get in touch with you?
Just go to our website, unlimitedtechsolutions.com. We make it very easy for you to reach out to us.
And I heard there's a Hubmaster or something that'll be coming out, so maybe you can get in touch and
you'll see it all there.
basis.
That's
Okay.
right. Absolutely.
Well, Tom, appreciate you. Stay awesome. Keep doing it big.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Sweet. Adios.
Bye.